to the Lunch and Learn, and we have Kathy Schultz and Melanie Bauer with us today to talk about essential oils and the many benefits it has for our health and especially on our brains. So I am going to go ahead and turn it over to Kathy, and she will get us started, and I'm going to help her by bringing up slides and videos, so just bear with us as we go through this.
All right. Thank you, Rebecca, and thanks, Corey, for inviting us and everybody who is here today. Many of you may know that Melanie and I have been essential oil enthusiasts for quite a while already. We both experienced some positive effects in our lives and from using the oils, and just enjoy sharing them with others. But we also recognize we are not medical doctors or experts, nor are we suggesting that essential oils are like the magic bullet, but they are something that we've found can enhance our daily lives and be an integral part of that mind, body, spirit approach to wellness. We look forward to meeting with everybody again when we can meet in person and actually share the essential oils with you and have an opportunity to experience how the oils can affect your mood in a positive way. So stay tuned. Hopefully this summer that will happen. Today we just plan to share a little bit about our own experiences. I'll touch briefly on the history and science of essential oils, the connection between aromas and emotions. Provide some essential oil basics, and then Melanie is going to share a little bit more in-depth information specific to emotions and wellness, as well as how she's used the oils in her own work world. And then at the very end, we'll have some time to answer any questions you guys might have. So I just wanted to start out with a little bit of a history about how I got started with the oils. I actually lost my sense of smell about 27 years ago from chronic sinusitis and those constant sinus infections. And then I had 4 sinus surgeries that in like 2 or 3 year time span that really impacted my ability to smell. So when people approached me about oils, I was like, yeah, I can't smell. I don't think they're going to help me at all. But I was lucky enough to be working and sharing, working at the same place as Melanie at the time at Family Services. And one particular day, I was dealing with a headache, some pretty serious head tension that was really kind of knocking me out. And she just wanted to share her peppermint oil with me. So she put a drop in my hands. I inhaled it. She massaged a little back on my back, or neck, I should say. And it was crazy how good I felt after that. So that really piqued my curiosity as to the oils and, why are these working for me if I can't even really smell them? I can tell like a eucalyptus or peppermint, but I can't smell this really good smell with them. So it piqued my curiosity. She taught me more. I started using the oils more regularly. I found a particular blend that addresses pain and aches and pains, really helped with an old injury to my neck and shoulder. I found another one that is supportive of immune systems and building up your immunities. And that one really helped me with my sinus infections. And honestly, I started in 2012 and I have not gone to get a prescription, an antibiotic prescription for my sinus infections, for any sinus infections since then. So, I mean, I got, you get your colds and things like that, but usually I can get them cleared up pretty quickly. So those were the main reasons that really got me passionate about the oils and started my journey. So now I want to just tell you a little bit more about the history of the essential oils and aromatherapy. Aromatherapy has actually been kind of the subject of interest for thousands of years. The ancient Greeks, Romans, Chinese, the Indians, they all used essential oils for not only medicinal purposes, but also in their rituals and religious purposes. They recognized that the oils had an ability to influence human feelings. However, the term aromatherapy wasn't officially recognized until around the 20th century. And then it took many years for the scientific community to recognize the emotional benefits. And there was substantial research conducted back in the 1990s when biologists began to more fully understand how the chemical sensors in the body respond to the effects of scents. And if anybody's really interested in reading some of those research papers, we do have a link to approximately 70 pages, or 17 pages worth of studies on that topic. So just let us know, we can email you that link. But anyway, all the research, and I believe this trend lately toward more holistic approaches to wellness has really opened up more minds to what the ancient civilizations already knew. And that was aromatherapy can have remarkable effects on the human emotion and overall wellness. So how does that all work? A little bit of the science. Certain aromas can elicit emotions by triggering memories and stimulating an emotional response. This concept is known as the Proust phenomenon. I don't speak French. It was a French author, so I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. But what I'd like to call it is olfactory deja vu. I'm guessing at some point, most everybody has experienced that. The trigger can be any smell that's associated with an emotionally charged memory. The scent of pine needles can maybe bring you back to a very special Christmas you experienced as a kid, or fresh baked cookies bring you back to the love you shared and felt from your grandmother and when you visited her house, or the smell of a campfire could bring back the memories of your very first camping trip and maybe how frightened you were when a raccoon came in or something. So it really is about that moment you're transported back in time. And you can be surprised at the clarity of the memory and actually experience some emotions that you felt at that time as well. And maybe that's why sometimes we talk about like sending a piece of clothing or a pillowcase with kiddos when you're going over to their first sleepover that you've used. You have your own personal scent on that, and that's really comforting for your kiddos when they're on their very first sleepover, for example, or when they need to be away from home. But in any case, this kind of deja vu is associated most strongly with your sense of smell than any of your other senses. And that's that connection between the smell and the brain. It's such a direct link, maybe the underlying reason why aromatherapy is a useful tool for our wellness and emotional wellness. So Rebecca, I'll have you show that first slide on the olfactory system a little bit.
Okay, all right.
There we go. Thank you. The smell receptors located in the upper surface of the nasal cavity make direct links to the limbic system of the brain, which, as many of you know, is the area that governs the body's emotional responses. When we inhale an aroma, the odorant molecules travel to the olfactory bulb, and then it's kind of like right behind your eyes. And then the scent molecules bind to the olfactory receptors, which are activated and send electrical signals to higher regions of the brain, the cortex and the limbic system. Additional research has also shown that the benefits of aroma can extend far beyond just the emotional regulation. And maybe this is why they work for me, even though I can't smell them. In addition to influencing the limbic system, they also, in the brain region, the olfactory centers are linked also to the hypothalamus, which has been called the visceral control center, and because it controls our physiological functions throughout the body. The hypothalamus interacts directly with the pituitary gland, which secretes hormones involved in the regulation of blood pressure, hunger and thirst, signals, cravings, thyroid function, sleep cycles, and memory, among other things. So you can take that one down, and now maybe to simplify it a little more, we found a neat little YouTube video that talks a little bit about how aromatherapy works as well. So.
Scents are like everything else in the world. They are made of molecules. Different molecules have different scents. When you inhale the scent of a rose, you're actually inhaling molecules the rose releases into the air. These molecules travel up in your nose and get stuck to your olfactory membrane, which contains highly specialized nerve endings called olfactory receptors. Once these nerves recognize a particular scent molecule, they send a signal to your olfactory bulb, which signals your cortex and limbic system. Next, hormones and neurochemicals are released. You probably know that different hormones and neurochemicals create different reactions in your body. So if a rose reminds you of romance, you're going to be flooded with romantic thoughts. Or if lavender relaxes you, your body is filled with relaxing hormones. Aromatherapy really does affect your body in a comprehensive, holistic way. Your emotions, hormones, and healing responses are all influenced for the better.
All right, thanks, Rebecca. Thank you. Okay, just moving on. Now a little bit about the basics before Melanie gets into. There we go.
Go ahead, Kathy. So,
All right. Okay, sounds good. So we just want to go over a few of the essential oil basics, like for some people who maybe are new to essential oils completely. Essential oils are found in different parts of plants. Depending on the plant, for example, citrus oils are cold pressed from the peelings of those fruits, while all the other plants are steam distilled, and they extract the oil from maybe the resin of the plant, the leaf, the bark, the petals, even the roots of the plant. And that's kind of the reason why, if you've ever seen essential oils have such a broad range of prices, because, for example, it takes a lot of rose to distill just one bottle of rose essential oil. So that one's a pretty expensive oil. So now, again, when you experience the pine trees at Christmas, the calming scent of lavender when you're, in your garden, or just slicing open a lemon and you get that invigorating lemon smell, you're actually experiencing the plant's essential oil. They're very powerful, natural aromatics. One drop equals about 40 trillion molecules in it. And again, these essential oils in the plants, these molecules help the plant to adapt to its own environment. It helps it thrive just by providing other beneficial, properties within it. And again, one thing to remember is a plant's chemistry is made up of hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen molecules, which also makes up the human body. So that unique chemical structure allows the oils, to work directly and indirectly within our cells to promote healthy cell function. Now, the uses, there's 3 primary ways to use essential oils. The first is aromatic. Smell, again, to remind you, is the fastest way to affect mood. You can just simply take a bottle, drop a little in your hands, rub them together, and inhale the scent, and just take a deep breath. Purchasing a diffuser, whether it's battery operated, electrical diffuser is another way. Using personal diffuser jewelry. I wear that every so often. It has like little lava rocks on it that actually absorb the oil in there. So that's really handy. Or you can get a aroma stick, because maybe guys don't want to wear aroma jewelry, but it's about the size of like a chapstick, and it has a cover, and you can put it in your pocket and take it out and just hold it under your nose to get the scent. Even just a few drops on a cotton ball, and you put that in the vent, or you put the cotton ball under your pillow, is another way to experience the essential oils aromatically. The second way is topically. The oils can be safely applied for massage or topical therapy to promote its own self-repair. Again, there's, you want to research it, and I'll get into safety a little bit on how to use the oils safely. And then the third way is internal use of the essential oils. Now, just certain oils do have a rich culinary history and can be used for dietary supplements and targeted wellness, but it's important that you do your research and educate yourself about that, because not all oils are appropriate for internal use. You always want to read the label and make sure it's of a high quality oil. If an oil is appropriate for internal use, it's going to have a supplemental facts label right on the essential oil, the label on the jar. It'll have that right there. And if it doesn't, it's not helpful to take it internally and actually could be harmful. So you want to always make sure you educate yourself on that if you choose to use oils internally. They're really potent, you know, even when diluted, an essential oil can have an adverse reaction if you use too much of it or too often. A lot of times they talk about when you're diffusing to turn that diffuser off, or there's a timer on your diffuser. You want to give yourself a break from the oils as well. And you don't want to use too much on your skin. Again, 1 drop, 2 drops goes a really long way. And that's why they come in little bottles. Safety, again, is really important. You know, and they can be used safely and effectively, but like prescriptions or over-the-counter medications, there are certain safety precautions you want to keep in mind because they're so potent. You know, even when diluted, again, you want to be careful. So make sure when you're using it to avoid sensitive areas, be extra careful around your eyes and your nose. When in doubt, dilute it with the carrier oil, such as fractionated coconut oil, or the oils that like massage therapists use, like jojoba oil. Even olive oil is helpful as well. The one thing you do not want to do if you get too much oil on is to wash it off with water. Water intensifies the oils. They don't mix. But sometimes, like there's what we call hot oils. Cinnamon is a very hot oil. Oregano is a very hot oil. So when you put that straight on your body, you know, that concentrated, it can give it, you know, like it can feel uncomfortable, feel like it's burning a little bit. You want to grab a carrier oil and make sure you use that. And that slows down the penetration of the oils into your body. So that's something to really keep in mind as well. For children are much more sensitive than adults. Also the elderly, you want to be cautious with how much you use. And I recommend diluting your oils when you're working with individuals that have very sensitive skin. It's also important to remember that some oils react to UV light, like some medications do. Certain oils, most often it's citrus oils, they could actually cause a sunburn, and you want to be careful that if you use those oils, you're wearing sunscreen. I accidentally one day probably was wiping off some oil, or lemon oil, around the bottle, and it was on my fingers, and I just kind of wiped it across my hand like that. Went outside not thinking about it, and in a little while I just saw right where my fingers were on my hand, on my arm. It didn't hurt or anything. I ran back in the house right away and just put some sunscreen on it, and by night you couldn't even see it, but it was like, this is true. I know from experience. A couple of other safety things with essential oils is to check with your doctor and check if an oil may be a possible contraindication to some medical conditions, certain medical conditions, or if you're pregnant or nursing, some oils can have an impact on those types of things. For example, like peppermint oil is energizing, but should be used very carefully with someone who may have high blood pressure, for example. Some people, it wouldn't affect much at all, but it's also good to know that and really educate yourself on those things. And lastly, again, before using any oil internally, check the label first. Not all oils should be taken internally. So even the high quality ones, which is next, just kind of give you a little background on the quality of essential oils. There's different levels of quality, and the most common form of essential oils are those synthetic ones. They're found in your cleaning products, your lotions, your bath products, laundry products, things like that. While they smell good, they don't really have therapeutic benefits where they can really work at the same cellular level as other oils, as the other essential oils. The next level would be your food grade oils. And again, these are the ones you find in chewing gum, breath mints, and cooking extracts. They're safe to take internally, even in a toothpaste, but again, you want to still be careful with it. And then the last one is the therapeutic grade essential oils, and you can find those at health food stores, at spas. online marketing programs, things like that. You just want to be really careful when you're purchasing any kind of discount oils or purchasing it from discount stores. Since the popularity of all the oils has been around, they are finding that it's estimated that over 75% of all oils on the market are either diluted or contaminated with synthetic materials. So if you find a rock bottom price for rose essential oil or frankincense, things like that, it's probably not a pure essential oil. Melanie and we were introduced to doTERRA essential oils. So those are the ones that we like to use. We like that they're grown and harvested in their natural environments. They're also undergo a lot of testing, third-party testing, and they're verified filler-free. But there are a lot of other quality essential oil companies that are out there as well. You just want to really make sure you're getting a good quality oil. Make sure you check that the bottle is usually in a darker container, either like amber or brown or blue, because light and too much heat can impact the quality of an essential oil as well. And the other thing to look for also is always make sure you can read the Latin name of the plant or plants for which those oils are extracted from. They should have that on there as well. So that's a little bit about the background. I know some of you guys may know that I use a small diffuser in my office, especially, when I'm working on paperwork, keep me focused, keep me, moving on with the paperwork. But I have used them on home visits as well. One memory I have with that is when I visited a family who I worked with the mom offering parenting support, and this wonderful, cute little dog named Odie he was just so much fun, very playful, but he was distracting to the meeting when we're talking. He was just wanting attention, kind of like a toddler when mom's talking. So I just would put a drop of lavender oil on my person when we went over to visit, and soon he just started climbing up on my lap and chilling, relaxing, and we could continue with our home visit. So that was kind of neat. I actually stole that idea from the dog whisperer many years ago. He uses essential oils in his practice as well. But essential oils in animals, that's like a whole nother topic. So for my daily routine, I use them for my skincare. I use them again for immunity building, to address pain. And then at night, it's a really neat way to do some self-care. By massaging a little essential oil on the bottom of my feet, which is a really great way to get the oils into your system as well, if you don't want to diffuse. So it's how I wind down at night. And I think at that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Melanie, who she can give you more details on how she uses the oils. She's had much more opportunities with home visitation and working with folks. So take it away, Mel.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I work for Family Services, and I've been providing direct services to families in the community for 22 years. Thank you for inviting us and to share our experience and how we use essential oils for wellness and in our practice. I've always been attracted to scents ever since I was a kid. There was essential oils that I would find and use as perfume or whatever. But it hasn't been until the last 10 years that I've been using them medicinally. I'm just going to share some of my own personal experiences with the oils and how I have used them with some of the families that I work with. It's been a very stressful year for everyone. The pandemic, the political scene, the losses, the violence, we've all witnessed all of this, and it's affected us deeply in many ways. I'm actually really grateful to get asked to do this presentation because it kind of helps me to get back into learning, refreshing my memory on some of the ways that I can use oils to reduce stress, because it's been stressful. Learning the new technology and figuring out how to serve clients and keep them safe has been rough. And sometimes I forget that they're right there. I have them all. I have a bunch of them at the office. I've got my diffuser right there. So it's good to have the reminder. I'm really good at using them in my practice. Like Kathy said, in the morning, I've got my little routine, but I forget that when I'm caught up in my day and busy, that it really only takes a minute to take that drop of oil and inhale it, or put it on the back of the neck, or massage it into a muscle. And it really, really can change up your attitude. The thing about using essential oils effectively is you have to use them in very small doses regularly, like Kathy said. And that's the other thing to remember, is that it's one thing to use them in the morning, but if you're actually treating something or dealing with a lot of stress, you need to just a drop is all it takes. But it can really be helpful. So depending upon what you're treating, like I said, it can be take a sniff right out of the bottle. It can be applying it, diffusing it, just small amounts frequently is where you're going to get your best effects. So Rebecca, can I have my slide that's called Brain Essentials, please? I'm just going to share some basic info on how essential oils affect the brain, because Kathy did a fabulous job. And I am not going to read this whole slide to you when she gets it up, because there's a lot of detail in it. But it'll give you an idea on how the oils work with the brain and what some of the suggested oils are. So you can see, like, for instance, there it says the frontal cortex. This, we know, is where we do our problem solving, our planning and organization. This affects judgment, behaviors, and some of the oils that are recommended are cardamom, copaiba, lavender, lemon, rosemary, and turmeric to support this part of the brain. So we can go around, again, I'm not going to read them all to you because you can kind of check it out for yourself, but the limbic system, where our memory and emotions are, you can see that tree oils, we've got some, Douglas fir, there's lavender, lemon, pentagrain, which is another citrus, and yarrow. Those are all possible oils that, can help support that part of the brain. And then we go down to the amygdala, and you can see there that that's where our learning and our memory is. Turmeric, citrus oils, vetiver. Vetiver is really a great oil for focus. Some kids with ADHD that I work with have, and they like it. It's a very strange smelling oil because it's a root and it kind of smells like dirt. Not everybody likes it, but it's amazing that some of the kids who have focus issues are attracted to it. So that's kind of neat. Lavender is also one that is added in there. So essential oils affect the brain by supporting healthy brain function. They are neuroprotective and are able to penetrate the bilipid cellular membrane. Sesquiterpenes are able to surpass the blood-brain barrier. Sesquiterpenes are some of the molecules that are in some of the oils, such as like frankincense. This is why frankincense is done. They've done tons of studies with frankincense and memory, for concussions, all kinds of things. If you go to PubMed.com, you can read all kinds of research that they've done. So sesquiterpenes is just one type of chemical that some of the oils carry. And then we can go to that flower slide, please, which we call it, Rebecca, if you would. This slide shows kind of categories, just to give you a little quick summary of what types of plants or oils will support different conditions. So you can see that the citrus oils are oils that are uplifting, or and I can't read it, but I know that the tree oils are good balancing, grounding oils. They're like, if you think of the roots of a tree going down into the earth, that's what they help us do, is just kind of give us some grounding. So if you use them aromatically, they can increase the oxygen to the limbic system, influence the amygdala, and stimulate the release of neurotransmitters. So this is the reason why aromatherapy is something that is really helpful to our emotions. Now, topically, you know that our skin is the largest organ in our body. And in the pandemic, many of us have been very isolated. Some of us are lucky enough to have, a partner or people that we live with. So we are being touched, but I really feel bad for some of the people that I know and other people that I don't know that are so isolated and are not getting touched. You can use essential oils on your skin and massage into your muscle yourself. And this will increase the production of endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine in your body, which can reduce anxiety and create relaxation. There's also acupressure points and reflexology points that when you apply the essential oils can intensify that treatment. We can experience this when we get together for the class that Kathy was talking about. We're going to do essential oils 2, when we can all get together and actually experience the oils. We can do some of that so you can see what that feels like. And then the other way is in the internal use. And I do use essential oils to improve my digestive health. We know that there is a direct correlation between our gut and our brain. Many of the oils have anti-inflammatory properties. Some of them are antiviral and antibacterial. So as Kathy said, you don't want to ingest any essential oils. You need to know what you're doing. You might want to check with your doctor before you decide to do that. But I've found great benefits. And then Rebecca, the slide on supporting emotions, that other brain one. Yeah. So essential oils can assist in relieving some side effects of stress, depression, anxiety, and addiction. They can stimulate memory and help with focus. More and more counselors and therapists are diffusing in their offices to assist their clients to stay regulated during sessions. The St. A's trauma specialists who contract through Door County Health and Human Services, they educate parents on with the brain mapping to help their kids to create new brain pathways to improve emotional regulation. And they actually have essential oils on their list of possible tools that they recommend for improving emotional regulation. Essential oils can, jar us back from that fight or flight response. And, you can see on here, this slide, some of the oils that are recommended for different reasons. For stress, for worry, for uplifting the mood. Okay, you can take that down now, please, Rebecca. I started out using essential oils by wearing them around clients. And then I noticed how some clients were responding by complimenting me. They're asking me about them. And I observed their moods to be a little bit lighter. So then I started diffusing them in the office during office visits. And I found in particular, one of the most successful ways of using them was in co-parenting. When you get two parents together who are having some challenges in their communication and might be a little frustrated with each other, I really saw some positive reactions when I could see a change, when I used the oils and when I didn't, diffusing them when they were there. they can have a positive effect on and support our mood. I bring oils to home visits with me for some clients. I've as Kathy's story about the dog, I've had the same experience. I had one home visit that I went to that had this German Shepherd who was, like a year old, so he was still a puppy, and he didn't want to hurt me, but he wanted to be on me, like standing on me. And he was the large dog. He just was like, all right, you new person, you're going to stay here. This is where I want you. And I really wasn't that comfortable with that. So I pulled out my peppermint, which kind of like, is like, whoa, because that's a very intense, and as we know, animals, especially dogs, have very sensitive snouts. So that got him off of me. And then I pulled out my Serenity, which is a flower base. It's got lavender and ylang ylang and some other really good oils in it. And he laid down right in the middle of the floor. And the clients were like, wow, we've never seen that before. So they can work with critters as well. But you do, again, want to be sensitive to, cats are not really big fans of them. And again, if you're trying to deter them, a little quick sniff, but you don't want to be diffusing in a room that they can't get out of, because some animals, do not do well with essential oils. I've had several clients in recovery. They would stop me outside of DHS while they were waiting for their group and say, hey, do you have any oils on you? So I don't know. It's interesting. It just seems like a lot of people in recovery seem to identify with them. And I think there's something about that immediate, like you want to reach for your cigarette or another substance maybe that isn't so healthy for you. And if you can grab an oil and get, a little bit of that scent through the olfactory and into the brain, it can kind of make you stop and think, and black pepper is one that's really good for addiction, and so is bergamot. Bergamot is really good for self-esteem and confidence. So those are two really good oils for coping with addiction. So one thing I learned in using the oils is not everybody likes them, and that's okay. Kids on the spectrum, they either love them or they hate them. So it's very individual. They can be very intense and very powerful. So people that have sensory sensitivities can find them overwhelming sometimes. But I do have kids on the scale who absolutely love them, and we have. They're a big part of the calming box that we make. A lot of times I will make with clients so that they've got tools that they can use at home. I always let them choose the scent that they like, even though at some of those slides we showed you, there's certain ones that are recommended because of the chemicals in them for certain conditions. But really, if you don't like it, you're not going to use it. And so I always let them experiment by smelling a bunch of different oils so that they can choose one that they like. So some of the calming tools that we make is I'll do little roller bottles with them, just little baby ones. And they can choose the scent they like. Sometimes we mix them. If they have some oils that they more than one that they like, sometimes we can make our own little blends, and that's really fun. And then they can have that as something that's in their pocket. They can take it to school if they're using it for focus or for emotional regulation. I also do these scented, we do scented Play-Doh, it's another textile, a good sensory tool. And on top of being the touching, you also, and being able to do that sensory, with your hands. I don't know what the word, but anyway, you also have the scent that can help calm you down or uplift you if you're in a bad mood. Another tool that I like to use is a rice sock. We take the rice and we scent it and then put it into a sock. And they can put that in the microwave, and that acts as pressure, kind of like a weighted blanket. If you want to put it around your neck, you have a little bit of that pressure, or you can lay it on your heart and do some deep chest breathing. That's also another great calming way to use the oil, to use the sock. So it's really important to, I mean, you've got some basic education today, but, you know, educate yourself and always teach people how to use the essential oils safely. I always make sure that kids know, you know, what to do if they do get some in their eye. It's like Kathy said, stay away from water. Bad idea. Don't rinse your eye out with water. Take a Kleenex with some coconut oil, olive oil, any kind of oil that's edible that you have, and dab around that eye. You're not going to go blind, but it's not going to feel good. So I always let them know about that. And we, you know, some of the more, the hotter oils, I either stay away from that with small children, or if there's something they're really attracted to, I make sure that is, we mix that with carrier oil, so it's a very light scent. So yeah, I found that using the oils at work has really been beneficial for clients. And I, again, sometimes have to remind myself, I have my balance right next to me right now for, you know, you get stressed. All you have to do is grab it, and it's not going to take the problem away, but it can really be a great tool for helping you get through. When we do that second class, we'll look more at what oils are recommended for, you know, specific symptoms, and we'll get to use them hands-on. I'll pass around bottles, and that'll be fun. So my last little visual is that little video, Rebecca. There's a little, like, it's 3 seconds long, but it's just kind of sweet, and it's proof that essential oils can be safe to use with children. This is, you find them? Yeah. This is my Ribby a few years ago. There he is. Oh, I kind of like it slow motion. Yeah, that's fun. Anyway, he's got his own little roller bottle set there. So those are all oils that he has his own little container, and he can use them when he wants to. They're all, you know, diluted. So it's a bunch of coconut oil with a few drops of oil. But my little Ribby, it's part of his daily routine to use essential oils. So now we can open it up for, does anybody have any questions for either one of us? Julie. Good to see your face, Julie.
Nice to see you too. It seems like it's been so long. Okay, Kathy was talking about putting the essential oils on your feet, and I see that your little Rivy does that also. So what do you recommend for putting on your feet? What do you put on your feet before bed, Kathy?
Well, it depends on what you're treating. The reason why we put them on the bottom of our feet is because we have more pores on the bottom of our feet than anywhere else. So they get into the blood system really quickly. And it's a great place if you are using them, like with kids, little kids, you know, they're not going to get it on their hands and in their eyes, you know, kind of thing. But so you might want to, for sleep, let's say you're having trouble sleeping, you know, some lavender or some of the tree oils can be, flowers or tree type oils can be very calming for sleep. You can use them for the oils on the bottom of your feet for if you're treating or if you're trying to avoid getting sick. You know, there's antibacterial and antiviral oils that you can put on the bottom of your feet. Yes, Kath, don't forget to unmute yourself. I saw your hand go up.
Okay. Yeah, I use the Serenity, which is a blend, the flower blend. It has some lavender in it, And I generally put that on my feet with the vetiver. For whatever reason, the vetiver really is helpful for me in calming and relaxing. We do have a diffuser in our bedroom, but my husband is not a fan of lavender or some of those flowery ones. So the dirty smell of the vetiver, along with that Serenity blend, kind of calms it a little bit. But I generally put it on the bottom of my feet just because he doesn't like that scent going necessarily in our bedroom. And again, like Melanie said, oregano is a very strong, very hot essential oil, but it's also one that when I'm feeling something coming on, I will use diluted on the bottom of my feet to kind of help build up my immune system and hopefully get ahead of whatever virus is trying to get in there. So those are
You
a couple.
smell a little bit like a pizza, but,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I only use that one at bedtime because I don't want to, and again, you don't want to necessarily diffuse oregano unless you want some pizza or, but those are the ones that I use for that. But even, just other oils can be really helpful. If you just want to relax because you're stressed out, during the day even, or, different times. But at bedtime, that's my go-to oil.
And there are some reflexology points on your feet too. So if, there's something like you have a headache, you might want to, on your big toe, rub some peppermint oil.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. The big toe, I think in reflexology is actually connected to the brain as well. So that's usually where the vetiver goes for me, but yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Does anybody else have questions?
Chris.
Thank you, guys. This was really fascinating. A lot of people, or some people, react pretty violently to some scents in perfumes and colognes and cleaning stuff. So if you're living with someone like that, can you dilute it on the oil enough to apply topically and get the benefit without someone else picking up on the scent?
Well, a lot of times the thing that people are allergic to are the chemicals that are in that. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have an aversion or, an allergy. I'm not going to say anybody can't have an allergy to an oil, but I think that most of the time the allergies tend to be from the chemicals. But yes, you can dilute them. And, I would never force an oil on anybody who says, no, I'm allergic to lemon. I have a girlfriend who's allergic to citrus. And I will never use my oils around her, but it's possible that wouldn't bother her, but again, I'm not going to be the one to find out. She needs to do that on her own. So you can, it's just, some people are, whether they're allergic or not, it's too intense for them, and then, you need to use them when they're not around.
I have a question. Can you get the same benefit from a less concentrated option, like say an herbal tea or something that has the same scent but isn't the oil?
You can, there's some teas that you can drink that'll help calm you, chamomile. We know that I love my chamomile tea. You can use the oil too. You could use a drop of oil and some hot water, but I get my chamomile right from the health food store. So yes, but because of their potency, that's why we use them medicinally, because you don't have to use a lot. Again, using small amounts frequently is the best way to use them. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Melanie, I think it was you that said you have a morning routine. What does that look like? What would you mind sharing what you take?
Okay, yeah, no problem. Okay, so one of the things that I do is I use frankincense. I wash my face. I use frankincense on some of my spots on my face. So that's one of the things I use it for. I have a cream a deodorant all natural cream that I use that is unscented. And then I have one of my favorite scents is called Elevation, and it's a combination of some different oils. It's got some melissa in it. It's really lovely. And I use that then as the scented part of my deodorant. I will put them on the bottom of my feet. Like I'm really thankful that me and my family have stayed healthy through the pandemic. And I've been doing what science says. I've been, doing my best, but I also have been really working hard on my immune system, keeping it healthy. And that's one way you can, so I usually apply some On Guard to the bottom of my feet, or I might put a drop under my tongue. I also do ingest frankincense. I do, because it's supposed to be good for your brain. So I'll do a drop of that. Those are every day. And then, I don't know. What else do you use in the morning, Kath?
Yeah, so I make my own sugar scrub. Usually it's either with lemon or citrus that has the essential oil in it, plus the real lemons and so on. So that's in the shower. So that just really softens up my skin. And then when I'm doing my makeup and so on, I add yarrow palm to my my like face cream in the morning, and I will use that to put on my face. Same in the evening, I'll use that, or maybe copaiba, some others that are good for skin.
Yeah.
But in the morning, it's yarrow palm. And then throughout the day, I have a drop of On Guard when I know I'm going to be going out and about in the community, especially. And if there's a day that I know something is going to be coming up, or it's been just a stressful few weeks, I will put a different blend on the bottom of my feet. Either the copaiba is a single oil, or there's a new oil blend that's called Adaptive, which is again a calming blend that I use. So that'll go on the bottom of my feet. I'm trying to inhale oils throughout the day as well. So I'll do that first thing in the morning, 4 different oils, because I'm trying to reignite my nerves and my olfactory nerves a little bit. And that was recommended in a couple different research articles, and even my Dr. Antonio has suggested that too. So that's kind of my routine, but for the face, emotions, immunity.
Nice, thank you. This has been excellent. I loved it.
Thank you. Did you have a question, Katie?
I did, yes. So I've had a couple different intro to oils over the years, and I've never really taken the dive to get started, but I keep showing up at these, so I know I have interest in them. And I think one of the roadblocks for me is just knowing that it's such a trial and error process of figuring out what you like and your preferences and how you respond, and knowing that it can be a little bit of an investment to kind of get started. So I guess just wondering what you guys would recommend as far as like, are there miniature starter kits or like a handful of oils that are recommended for beginners who are just looking to dabble and get started?
Yes, actually, I think some of the standard oils people usually start with are like lavender and peppermint and lemon. Those are some pretty basic oils. One thing that's helpful too is just to, if you know someone with oils that you want to just try and see if it's good or not, if that's something that is helpful for you, you can do that. I don't know, Melanie, do you have other thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think I would say that too. I mean, frankincense is another one that I just think everybody should have. And, obviously we do doTERRA, and you can contact, we can give you some samples of some stuff if you want, but you can also go to the health food store and they will have those basic oils, and they should have a good brand there. I don't know anything about anybody's oils, but these, because this is what we've been using, but I know like the Healthy Way has some good oils. But yeah, feel free to, I always have them at the office. Kathy's got some. You're welcome to, experiment. And, yeah, but I think those are good basics to start out with. Unless there's something specific that you like, I really need oils for this purpose, then you can talk to us on the side too, and we can give you some more information. We've got lots of books, stuff, so you can look it up.
Well, Kathy, you're pretty convenient, so.
Yeah.
I'm around the
Yep,
corner.
you know where to find me.
Thanks.
So, anybody else? All right, well, it looks like it's just about 1 o'clock, so timing was perfect there. Again, if you guys do have any want more information about the oils, just feel free to reach out to either one of us. We will send out that brain image from Dr. Danielle. I also have a little handout on some blends that might be interesting to try, things like that. And again, if you have any doTERRA specific questions, just again, shoot us an email and we can contact you after work hours and so on. But we're not trying to sell essential oils today. We're really just trying to educate. And there, like Mel said, there are the health food stores and other quality companies out there as well. So thanks again, everyone.